All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining for another episode of the Pretty in Pain podcast. Today, I have back Latoya Clark. We had a great interview, one of my highest rated videos the last time. And I'm so glad to get her back. She's had a long journey since then. And she's got a book now. And she's going to tell you all about it. I want you guys to run and join. I will be sponsoring two people that want to buy her book. So let's go ahead and get started. Latoya, go ahead and tell us about yourself and welcome back.
Well, thank you very much. I am glad to be back. And yep, I have definitely been busy. Um, but yeah, I am Latoya. I am the who am I? I am the host of Butterfly Chats, the podcast.
Yes.
And now Butterfly Chats, the support group. That's a new thing that's
Yes,
coming up.
it is. Okay.
The support group or the support group system. We'll get into that as to why it's called that
Okay.
a little further. So yes, I do have a couple of books. I'm a new author, kind of getting into that whole writing thing. And I am an advocate. I am an advocate for chronic illness, invisible illness, and medical equality. And so that's just me in a nutshell.
All right. All right. I'm so glad. Oh, you going got a lot going on. I love you've done so much since I've talked to you the last time, and I've been watching. I've been like, you go, girl. I'll be over here like you better go and do your thing. So, give us a little brief history on your fibro. How did you find out you had it? How long you've had it for the listeners that didn't hear the
Okay,
first. Yeah.
sure.
Mhm.
So, my fibro came due to medical trauma. So it started out in 2014. I was working, as I say, living my best life as a pastry chef,
Mhm.
and I got what I thought was the flu. So I was still working. I had a cold. Really wasn't thinking anything of it. As my doctor started, kind of diagnosing me and trying to treat me, and the cold was not going away, and she was like, well, because I was always one who never really got sick, and she was like, this is lingering more than it should.
Okay.
So I'm just so very, very thankful that she was very intuitive, and so she looked deeper because she knew that it wasn't like me. um with her looking deeper, she actually was able to diagnose that I had fibroid tumors. At the point where she located them, they had been growing for who knows how long.
Oh my God.
So that's when I had to, pretty much my life pretty much stopped. um I had double pneumonia because mainly because of the pressure from the tumors
Tumors. Yeah.
had wedged up under my two bottom ribs and were compressing my lungs.
Jesus.
So it was causing fluid to build up. So they had to, of course, treat the double pneumonia, and then they had to kind of assess the tumors, which were massive and kind of grown together all on my left side. That started a 4-year journey of them trying to, assess how to get them out. Took about 3 surgeries to get all of the tumors out. And then once that happened, we went into the
Fibro.
area of where what we call collateral damage.
Mm-hmm.
Once the tumors came out, then we could assess what happened, what else has been damaged now that we can see in there. Because I'm not very tall, so with having 4 to 5, you know, cantaloupe-sized tumors all kind of
Mm.
packed in your abdomen,
Yeah.
all on one side. I'm only 4'11", so there's only only so much space in there. So it had done a little bit of damage, on my lower back and my hip. So we had to, go through some physical therapy to kind of get that taken care of. But due to just all the surgeries, and they can only assume that maybe from the cutting, and the release of the pressure on the nerves, that's where the fibromyalgia came from. So now I'm having to learn to live with chronic pain. That in itself is a journey. So
Yes.
that's kind of where it brought me here.
Wow. You got a big history. Wow, that's
Yeah.
you went through a lot. And how
A
what
lot.
time span was this in?
This was from 2014 up to 2018-ish.
Okay. And so you had to I'm sure you I remember you had to retire from your job
Yeah,
or what you do, your love for being a
I did.
pastry chef.
Yes.
So your journey with that, how did it how did you feel? How did you get through it? How did you get
Um, I don't know. I don't know if I'm through it yet.
through
I still love baking.
it?
I still love, the idea of being a chef. I was actually just talking to someone the other day, um, about, dreams,
Right,
and, you know, what happens to them.
right. I understand.
Um, and, because when you have a chronic illness, a lot of things are either taken from you, or and a lot of things you have to simply choose to adjust just out of necessity. And, you know for me, that was my career. The My doctor told me, back in 2014,
Mhm.
that, and at the time I didn't believe her because I'm just stubborn.
Right.
But I think she had a better idea of the road I was about to be on than I did. She told me then that I wouldn't be able to do the job that I was doing then, and I was like, Shh, woman, please, you're crazy. You're gonna
Right,
take these suckers out, don't go right back to work,
right,
you know. But she was right.
right.
um, but in talking to the person I was talking to a couple days ago, I really do still have that dream of being a chef,
Of
or
course.
at the very least having a restaurant in some form.
Hmm.
I may have to just tweak that dream a little bit.
You just gotta go. You know what? I watch Hell's Kitchen and
Hmm.
all them Gordon
Yeah.
Ramsay shows,
Oh yeah.
and one of his people, not on Hell's Kitchen, but the other show, I can't remember the name of it, but she's blind. She's 100% blind. And if she can
Hmm.
run, if she can do it, you can do it. I know you
Yeah.
can do it. You just got to find a way to work around,
Exactly.
and that's all. It's just
Yeah. You just
work
gotta
around.
find the way, and that's, kind of like, I just keeping that hope alive,
Yeah.
that, the things that, I feel like, God promised me,
Hmm.
he will bring it to pass. I just have to
Absolutely.
wait for it.
Absolutely. I'm a person that when I had to walk away from my career, it was one of the most damning things that happened. And I was just
Hmm.
like in a dark, I also was a dark tunnel with a little bit of light at the end. I said, well, look, I better head toward that light because this
Right.
thing, but that was one of the reasons why I carved a lane for myself and became self-employed because I was like, I can't work in a 9 to 5. I can't work you expected me because I do have expectations for myself, but I
Hmm.
know that I have to readjust them on
Hmm.
any given day and work around them. And that's how I end up being self-employed. I do 50-11 thing on things to be honest, but it works for me because you're right, when you have a chronic pain illness, it knocks the wind out of you and you're
Oh yeah.
not ready for it. You're just not ready for the ride and the journey that you're going to be taking. That's why I was so proud of you when I seen that you had got the book out because I've been working on mine. And you got I said, oh, see, look at her. I said, look at her, go ahead. And so please
Right.
tell me your journey to your book and the name of it and where it can be found and everything.
Okay. Well, so this is the book I have out is Lord Teach My Soul to Sing.
Mm-hmm.
It is a devotional journal. It it is a collection of short stories and poems
Mm-hmm.
that I've been writing and kind of just carrying around for about 10 years now.
Okay.
And I've they've changed and morphed so many times, almost as many times as I have. But I have tried to, publish them before, and it just never seemed like the right time.
Okay.
But this time, I don't know if it was the pandemic. I don't know if it was, fate. I don't know if it was just the simply the right time.
Okay.
But everything just kind of fell into place, and I, chose to go the self-publishing route.
Hmm.
And I got it together, and basically you have a poem or a short story
Hmm.
with lined journal pages with each one, and a couple of them are pretty long, so those have more pages.
Okay.
And the lined journal pages are there for two reasons. Well, one of two reasons. Um, I hope that when the reader reads these passages, that it's not so much that they're reading words I wrote, because those words are words that were spoken to me
Hmm.
during my time during prayer. So it's like words that God spoke to me
Okay.
just for me observing things, in that given moment. So when the reader reads those passages, I hope that they are able to hear God, or, get some sort of clarity on any given situation.
Spark
So
some
that's
like.
why I placed the journal pages
Hmm.
there so that they can write their own thoughts. Um, you know, Questions, the grocery list, whatever they want,
Hmm.
you know, so that it's not just them reading words I wrote. I hope that that can help them grow, in their walk to wherever they're trying to go.
Right. So like provoke thoughts, and just like a self thought where you can reflect on what you read and then okay, this is how I feel and things like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that would be a good. It's a good book for especially people with fibroid with chronic pain illnesses because that's why I
Hmm.
do like choose corner every day because I just write down my thoughts because it reaches words reach people
Yes.
and it speaks to them in different ways and different languages and things like that. I'm a heavy reader, even though I got out of it the last year and a half. Heavy reader, and I'm into things like that. So I understand. So with this, what was your? So how long did in from beginning to end did it take for you to get your book published, and where is it available at?
It took me probably about 6 months
Okay.
to get everything put together, get the cover right, the editing done, and get it all approved and everything. It's available on my website,
Okay.
butterflychats.com,
Mm-hmm.
and on Amazon.
Okay.
You can so in addition to that, if you go to Amazon, um, you're gonna see three options. I have it in e-version and e-Kindle book
Mm-hmm.
version, and then there's a paperback version, and then you're gonna see a hard copy.
Okay.
So now the hard copy is simply a bigger journal.
Okay.
I use the same cover for the paperback
Mm-hmm.
that has the short stories in it,
Okay.
but I used the same cover for the hardcover with nothing but journal pages.
Okay.
For those people who maybe, for one, either needed more writing room, or people who were like, well, because, you and me, we're readers.
Yeah.
Not everybody's a reader. People may just like notebooks.
Yeah.
People may just want to just start off and write their own things. So that's what I just want to make sure the hardcover is not the poems. The hardcover is just a journal. So it's written on there, but just want to make sure. Make sure you know. But yeah, so that is available. And both on my website, butterflychats.com, and on Amazon.
Okay. So that's great to hear that. And will you be coming out with any more books? You got anything else in the oven
Absolutely.
cooking?
I actually have um okay, so I have one that I just published.
Mhm.
It is a redesigned meditation book
Okay.
for preschoolers. That one is the Mindfulness Butterfly Journal. That was from my very first journal. I took that down and redesigned it completely,
Wow.
and kind of honed it down specifically for preschoolers.
Do you
It
think preschoolers can meditate?
Yeah, we got to teach them babies to keep it calm.
Let me. I definitely got to get that for
Cause
my
they be they
1
be
year.
doing the most,
I got to
man.
get it for my 5 year grandson. So I'll make sure I get. What's the name
Cause
of it?
the mom grandson, I got one for him
he
too. I have
He reads
now
well.
for him, I have the mindfulness crafters
Okay.
journal. That one is all for boys. It's kind
Mhm.
of uh, game brain fog. Sorry,
Mhm.
video game journal.
Mhm.
Very video game themed. It has like sight words, activity pages. It
Oh.
has illustrations showing them how to breathe and how to stay
Yeah.
calm, and the visuals on what you actually need to do to take calming breaths, and how to get calm, how to recognize your feelings and describe them. So all just to kind of start that emotional intelligence
Mhm.
as early as possible.
Wow, I
And
did not know you had a. What's the name of that? Because me and my, because he didn't know something more than Nana hollering. So
exactly.
to calm him
So
down.
I have the Butterfly Mindfulness Journal,
Hmm.
which more colorful. That's for girls or for whoever. You can get it to a boy as well.
Okay.
And the Mindfulness Crafters, the Mindfulness
Hmm.
Journal for boys,
Okay.
also available on Amazon.
Amazon. Wonderful. I did not know that you had a kids version of it. That's wonderful. I did not know that. Yeah, I'm gonna look check that out. As soon as he brings his little tail over here, I'm like, come here. Come here. And
Exactly. And then I have one more project that is in the works.
you have enough, and would that be a journal, or is this in a whole different
No, it's gonna
arena?
be it's gonna be completely different.
Okay.
I am working on a novel,
Okay.
and it is gonna be a novel based on my journey
Okay.
with chronic illness.
Mm.
It's just gonna, be a story about a girl who was living her life and got her life interrupted um, by this thing
Mhm.
that she doesn't know. She's never met it. She doesn't know it. It doesn't have a name,
Mhm.
but yet it is completely altering and, in her eyes, destroying her world.
Okay.
But she's gonna take the journey,
Mhm.
and hopefully
Mhm.
at the end, um, we're gonna see how she can turn this seemingly damning event
Mhm.
and turn it into something quite beautiful.
All right. So taking lemon and making lemonade.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad to hear you got it going on. You are busy. You don't have time to cook.
I know.
I tell you, you ain't no time to cook.
Right?
How has your pain level been?
Oh girl, out of control.
Mm.
It has been totally out of control. But I mean, I I have been busy. I have been doing a lot.
Mhm.
I have been doing probably all of the wrong things stress wise.
Okay.
But I'm back in physical therapy.
Great.
So that's helping. That is helping me, kind of get into a pattern, and then it's helping me kind of get stronger,
Mhm.
and kind of getting that energy out as well. It's like the
Great.
physical activity. But I am hoping to get that under control. Once I have a couple of medical appointments coming up here
Mhm.
in a couple of weeks. So I definitely hope to get some of these food intolerances taken care of, um, and kind of get myself back on a more streamlined path.
And the issues that you have now, do you think they're due to your medication, or do you think you have something totally, or do you think it's a combination, like they've just kind of met each other and they're fighting it out?
Um, I think it may be a combination of all of that.
Okay.
I've definitely learned with fibromyalgia, it can be the slightest little thing that
Mm-hmm.
just ticks it off. Um, I have been on a couple of new medications in the last few months.
Mhm.
So it could totally be like a medicine interaction. We've looked at that. They've looked at it and that they're not seeing anything obvious.
Right.
And the medications I'm on, they're working, so I kind of like I need them. So it's kind of hard to kind of weigh whether or not to stop them to see if the
Yeah.
the other symptoms get better. So it's very tricky. But they're gonna do some additional testings just to kind of rule out a couple of more possibilities.
Mhm.
And then and the thing is like this particular doctor, she has a plan
Mhm.
so that if it happens to not be this one thing, then she said, well, we're gonna try this.
Okay.
So I love a doctor with a plan.
Yes. So you're fully comfortable with this doctor that you have now. How many doctors have you went through to get to a doctor that you say, okay, somebody's finally helping me like I need to be helped?
um two, two officially.
Two officially.
Yeah, because it would have been three, but because the group that we had down here, they're all kind of together.
Okay.
Even though they're not in the same building, they're
In
all
the same
connected.
system. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
I get it.
So because I actually had to go through the whole like getting released from one
Mhm.
to even get an appointment with the other.
Right.
Um, so I'm like, well, there's no point in kind of recycling information, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just really hard. That's where advocacy comes in. That's why advocacy is so important. Um,
Absolutely. So,
some of these providers, I don't know. I don't know where the problem starts.
mhm.
Um, Part of me doesn't care. Part of me just wants them to do the job that they're in.
Yes.
Um, because you would think all the time, all the money, all the sleepless nights that
Mhm.
they've endured to do this,
Mhm.
that they would be a little better at it.
Yeah.
And this is maybe trying to be really nice right now. Um, so it's very disheartening at the sheer number of bad ones that we run into.
Yeah.
Um, but boy, boy, when you find a good one, it's like
You hold
that's
on like a
just like
mother,
finding a good
baby.
man. It's like finding a good man. Woo! You'll take off the earrings for this one.
You
I'm
be like,
like,
you be like, don't leave me.
who talking? Who do you talking to? Who on the phone? Where you going?
We're together.
Exactly.
I
I want you to
told
sign this contract. I'm
I
signing this
told my
contract.
doctor, I was like, I don't know what you're gonna do because you
You
can't
can't. You
retire.
could.
Yeah.
I just had that thought with my primary doctor because my primary here he's one of the good ones. Thank
Yeah.
God I
Me
have
too.
one that's close.
Mhm.
And I'm like, and he's been like my mom's doctor, he's been my dad's doctor.
Yes.
So I'm like, I don't know what he's gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I don't know what to do because
I'm
like
like, because she's a straight shooter,
yeah.
but he listens, he tells you like it is, but he doesn't shut you down.
Yes.
He'll tell you why. If he says no, he'll tell you why he's saying no.
Yeah.
It's not just a no because he's the doctor.
Mhm.
So I'm like, he actually communicates with you.
Right.
And I'm like, that's kind of what you need when you're talking about your body,
Yes.
I would think.
I told my doctor, I was like, I don't know what you're gonna do because you can't retire. So I guess
Ever.
we're just gonna pack it up and live
It's
together.
gonna
I don't
it's
know.
it's gonna be like I don't know, like the Olsons or something, like you're gonna go to Doc's house,
Exactly.
you
Now,
know.
how many other diagnoses do you have besides the fibromyalgia?
Oh girl. Okay.
Okay.
So we have let's see, we have lupus and we have sickle cell. That one just popped up in December.
Are you serious?
I am
That is
so
painful.
I am so totally
Oh,
serious.
oh goodness gracious. I
Which again, which then, if you think like I think,
uh-huh.
so my hematologist was like, yeah, I'm like, what? I guess he didn't tell me because he didn't want to freak me out
Mm-hmm.
because he probably knew that it would freak me out. He's like, I've been watching it for a few years because I've been getting iron infusions for
For
like
a
the
while.
last 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like like for the first 9 years, I was getting iron infusions every 3 months.
Okay.
Every because my body was not keeping iron.
Right.
Even at first it was because of the tumors. The tumors were taking my blood and my iron.
Mm-hmm.
After that, my body was still not it wasn't making more.
Mm-hmm.
It was just using it up. So he was like, "Yeah, I've been watching it, over the last couple of years." I'm like, "Dude, you could have told me that, you
Right.
know?" So, yeah, he's like, "Yeah, I'm thinking that, you have sickle cell thalassemia, which means I do have some regular s- red blood cells.
Okay.
Um, but the regular ones I have are just smaller."
Well, can I
And
ask you a question? I just to be honest, could you have a misdiagnosis of fibromyalgia? Because
I
what?
could,
Oh,
yes.
okay. Because
Uh,
just the two that you named are very painful conditions.
yes.
Okay.
And so that is kind of where we are now,
Okay.
because of that. Now it's a situation of, deciding, or like deep doing a deeper dive, because
Yes.
with sickle cell thalassemia, there's an additional test that you can do,
Okay.
to figure out if you have a beta, or another one I forgot, brain
Mm-hmm.
fog. But I haven't had the blood volume to do the test.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so once that's done, then we can, figure out, has my pain been fibro pain, or has it been crises? Yeah, no.
Yeah. But it's the reason why we as advocates we teach taking control of your medical so you
Hmm.
can find those type of things out, and
Yeah.
and figure it out. And because I'm the same way, I've been diagnosed with fibro, but once I had another issue going on, once they found that issue, it cleared it up about 80%. I still have
Hmm.
my flare days and painful days, but it's the reason why we tell them keep going till
Hmm.
you get your answers. Not until
Exactly.
they get them, until you get your answers, because it can totally, and it's not their fault, because when it looks like something in your test, like I have tests that are borderline tests like yours, and that's probably what how your doctor's like I've been looking at it. It's like they're
Hmm.
borderline, so she's not all the way positive, but she's sure close to positive.
Exactly.
So I get it. I didn't, and so so you have sickle cell, you just got, because I remember when I spoke to you the last time, I believe you were beginning on your journey with that to
Yeah,
see if you were going
it
that way.
was. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And you have to think about it. You know, I didn't come to him. I guess you said I didn't come to him fresh. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't come to him because I was only having pain.
Right.
Yeah, I came to him initially because of low iron due to the tumors.
Okay.
So that pretty much all of my doctors have said, you are a case, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because I come with so many other
Layers.
issues
Mm-hmm.
that you have to take into account, because they have so many symptoms and signs in common. And then trying to figure out which one is which, it's almost basically impossible.
Yeah.
So that's why it took him so long, because I'm thinking, how at 40, 40 whatever, whatever, you know
Yeah,
that,
which is
I'm like, how you, because that's like that's sickle cell or something you get when you're a child, when
yeah.
you're young, teenager
Yes.
at least.
Yes.
I'm a full grown woman. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
you know
Yeah. Unless I just been
um
misdiagnosed all these years, and I don't think so. I just think
yeah.
that's crazy.
And then I'll go, of course, me, once I get that, how we do, I go look, internet confirm,
Yes, I am the I am the
go,
Google doctor queen. My doctor looks
right?
at me like I'm crazy.
I'm gonna go Google second opinion. Let's
Yeah,
see if it's correct.
right.
And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm like, I had a lot of those symptoms when I was younger,
Okay.
but it's just, but yeah. So that's what I've been working with, and even with the lupus, it's like we lost our rheumatologist. Like in our area,
Mhm.
um, we don't have any rheumatologists
Mhm.
within 100-mile radius of where I live.
Are you sick? Oh my God.
Yeah, we and when I first moved here, we only had two to begin with. One retired, and the other one just moved. And so the one that just moved was the one I had, but that's the one that also was like he told me I had lupus
Mhm.
2016.
Mhm.
um I asked him to rerun the ANA just to
Right.
be sure.
Spin it down. Yeah.
Yeah. And he was like, don't worry, let me worry about the lupus.
Oh God.
you know
Yeah.
and at that point, me and him were like, not very best of friends. But from then he pretty much only treated my fibro. So it's like I'm not on anything. I'm not on Plaquil, nothing for the lupus.
What?
Except that's what I'm saying. And then now he's not even practicing here. He moved. So
So the hospitals there, the local hospitals, they don't even have like a rheumatology clinic where that takes
nope,
in patients.
nope,
That is just mind-boggling to me. I
duh,
mean,
right?
my mouth is open. I
And
like,
I'm not in the country. I mean, I'm in the South, but
yeah,
I mean, mid metro. I mean,
right.
you know,
God,
yeah,
that's hard.
yeah,
That's rough.
yeah. I
And
think the first, because I was just doing the search before this interview.
mhm,
Yeah, the closest rheumatologist of any kind is 2 hours and 15 minutes away.
goodness, what city? May I ask you what city you
I'm in Dothan, Alabama.
in?
Yep.
Oh Lord, I make sure I know not to move there, child. 'Cause
Right?
honey,
Please don't. Please. Can I come? Can I come with you?
you would
Oh,
come on up here.
shoot.
It's just I guess it just we take so much for granted, and I do deal with a lot of patients that call me like, I need you to find me somebody, and I usually am, but it's one person though that I finally found her somewhere, but she was in she was in the Boot Hills of West Virginia, like West Virginia, Virginia, Pennsylvania line. It was like they're in a
Mm,
line, and but we were able to find some. But she was like you, she had to go an hour and 10 minutes away to
mm,
find. I'm like, but to be diagnosed with lupus and not be on. Yeah, you're in some
anything.
pain, and
Yeah.
I'm surprised you talk because I'll be evil. Or I'll be having attitude all the time.
I mean, well, if you ask my mom, she's like, why are you so upset and angry? I don't know. Leave me alone. Stop breathing my air.
Like I have some family members. They be like, you're just so evil. Like
I know. I'm
like
like,
I'm not evil, but I
well,
don't have time.
come into my consciousness for like 10 minutes and then we'll talk.
Yeah, and people don't understand how many times I'm like, I count down to like 20 before I open my mouth because I already know I'm having,
Right?
especially on the day when you're like at a level 8 and you're
Girl.
pushing through, like I'm pushing through, I'm not thinking about it, and here you come.
And then I mean, first thing in the morning.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just like, can I? What?
that's why
You know?
I have my best friend. She is like a morning person. Like she's like up, and I get up in the morning. I'm sure you do too, but it's so painful for me when I wake up in the morning. I
I feel
don't
like
want.
I feel like I've been in a street fight.
I feel like somebody hit me with a truck and just laid their wheel over me.
Right?
So, I don't talk too much anymore. I might say good morning, but like my family didn't understand it now. Like I don't start
Right.
talking to me, so
Yeah.
I start.
Somebody like the mumbling. What'd you say? I'm like, I'm not saying it
I'm
again.
not saying I can't. I
Like,
understand. So tell me about your group, your support group, and how long
what?
has it been existing? How do we get to it? Because I didn't know.
Well, it's super new.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, we only had a couple of meetings so far. It's a couple. Well, right now it's just butterfly chats. That's what it called.
Okay.
And I'm kind of testing out different locations, trying to figure out the easiest way
Mm-hmm.
to get people logged in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Before it was on Facebook Live.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it wasn't very interactive. I mean, it
Mm-mm.
wasn't easily interactive.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
So this next one, which is September 30th
Mm-hmm.
at 6 p.m.,
Send me an invite. Make sure
I
you send me an invite.
definitely will.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be on Hop In. and you can just come in to that forum, and it's a video chat, and you can have your cameras off.
Okay.
But we can interact with each other. It has a chat. We can do games, and we can come together. It's for spoonies, for caregivers, people who just are who want to support the people in their life that have pain, or if you want to support a caregiver who is supporting a spoonie.
Right.
It's for you. Come in and we're going to be giving information. We're going to give it information, support, and we're working on ways to help provide assistance with food insecurity, and some like school supplies for the next year. But we're gonna get a little more information about that. But if you go to my Facebook page, Butterfly Chats, on Facebook, the event is created there.
Okay.
And you can just get the link from there. But
Okay.
I will send you like all the linky
I will
stuff.
forget. Let me tell you.
And you can, I got you.
I will forget.
I'll send you all the linky stuff, and you can, tag it, post it, add it, whatever.
You know what? I think I miss a lot of things, because to me, for especially organizations that are new and upcoming, Facebook is not user friendly for me.
Yeah.
So I do, like, when I was doing my group, I was just doing Zoom. Like, here's the Zoom link, boom,
exactly,
and it worked for me. And so that might be something you want to consider in the future.
Yeah.
But what I got some man trying to do a you know how you guys get on there and do the your weekly or monthly thing with Crystal and Melissa and everything. It was just, I was like, it's too quirky. It's too quirky. It drops. It does not.
Yeah.
And so I use Facebook just to get on there. I get some couple resources. I might talk here and there, but I don't do a lot on Facebook anymore. Yeah. I've done like a lot of